Welcome back to my channel, Sowing Seeds in the City. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And just to let you all know, if this is your first time, I actually live in the city, Central Florida, Zone 10. And I actually sow seeds and grow in a very small space. I live in a townhome, and so my backyard is 50 square feet. And then in my front yard, which I'm going to take you to today, I actually only own 3 feet out from my house. So it makes it very difficult to sow seeds there, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible. And I want to encourage others who live in apartments, condos, townhouses, small houses, those that aren't able to have acres on a homestead, that you too can also grow and sow seeds. I'm happy to have you here, and let's get started on harvesting and taking a tour. I'm so sorry about the squeaking in the background. Actually, joining me today is my other gardening fur partner, Dawson, and he just got some new squeaky toys, so he's all excited about being outside and being in the garden. Dawson, he also ignores people when he has toys. All right, you guys, let's get started. Those of you may remember, I moved some stuff out of this vertical garden that I did not have success in growing, and actually success starting plants, but unfortunately the growth was stunted. And I told you I could not remember what I sowed here after I pulled the plants, and now that it is a little larger, definitely a lot larger than 2 weeks ago, I realized that this is lettuce, and this looks like more dinosaur kale that I'm also going to move. So the plants that were here were the ones that I actually transplanted to this bed, which was some of our collards, and then next to it I have some cabbage collards. These are starting to get big, so one of the things that I noticed is I put 3 plants, which this one is starting to become intertwined. And so I think I'm actually going to separate and pull 2 of these out, leave the large one here that is thriving, and move those 2 to my raised bed here, where I did plant some lettuce, but it is slowly coming in. I did have some more kale here and some Swiss chard going in here, but I noticed that I needed to pull the Swiss chard, and instead of sowing new seeds for that or transplanting, I'm actually going to put one of the plants here, and then I think I'm just going to stick the other one there. So we are going to move those. Hopefully I'll have time in this video, but we'll wait and see. But as we move over, I just wanted to show you that I have limes coming. I have them coming. They're getting larger. I don't think this one's gonna make it, but this one looks like it's going to. And then I have another one growing back there. So I'm really excited to see those coming along. And I'm gonna take you over to the oranges, because I showed you a few oranges that were on a tree last week, but this morning I came out and I noticed that I actually have orange blossoms coming, which is exciting because sometimes I pull some of them and make tea. But look at all those orange blossom buds, where I'm going to have the beautiful white flowers that smell so good. And so I'm looking forward to that. These that were dark green last week when we did the video are now starting to get some color, and those back there will soon be ready to harvest because they have now turned to their dark orange, and they're not as hard as they used to be. They're actually a little squishy. I do have to show you though. Look, more orange blossoms. So that means that I'm probably going to get maybe another 40 oranges on this tree during the next season. I am now in the front of my home where we're going to do a little tour, and like I said, we're going to do some light harvesting. Before I left the back area, I did harvest a few beans that was ready and one of the larger leaves of the collards. So let's get to it. One of the things that I forgot to mention outside of only owning the 3 feet, I do live where there is an HOA, and so they're not always in favor of you actually growing food. They rather you grow flowers. Well, I grow some flowers, but most of the time I'll only grow the things that we can actually eat or add as a supplement or add to a tea. So what I usually do to get past their things are I try to plant a lot of leafy things, greenery, so that it kind of just blends in with everything else. But one of the challenging things in moving here, the previous owner to my townhome for years, probably over 10 years, kept growing, or excuse me, not growing, throwing rocks in the bed. And it's layers and layers and layers. And I've actually pulled out about 3 layers of the rocks, and I just can't anymore. So it makes it difficult because there's poor soil quality there, and I've actually purchased both soil and compost and filled the beds on top of the rest of the rocks that are there. But unfortunately, those plants only grow so big because they can't get deep down in the soil due to the rocks. But I'm not scraping out any more rocks. So in this small area, I actually have some more celery like in the back that's growing. I have some peppers here, collard, broccoli, more celery, and then a cabbage collard back there. Between here that's actually laying down that I need to cut is garlic that I've sowed. And then I had just this little random pot that I threw some seeds for carrots in. I'm sorry, you guys, about the noise. I got an Amazon delivery coming. So this is the area where it's quite lengthy, but again, there's rocks, and I hate these rocks. I call them lava rocks. I'm actually not sure what they are, but again, I've moved about 3 layers. Here is another collard that I've sown, a cabbage plant that I recently transplanted. This is my foxtail that I tried to blend in with some things. I recently just tried this pot because, as you can tell, I've had this collard, which is a Georgia Southern, and I've had it for quite some time. And this is as big as the leaves will grow, which, if you know, Georgia Southerns get large leaves, and this one, my hand is still larger than it. And the leaves are not going to grow, so now I just harvest from it at this size. I also planted another one back there, which I recently harvested from during Thanksgiving, so now we have the new leaves growing. But I am going to pick some of these. I've just really been admiring it because it's just so pretty and green and full, and it has added to my front space. I'm hoping these, I actually transplanted those in this little pot 2 weeks ago, so I'm waiting for those to take off. I have more celery here, some little green peppers here and here. Just another foxtail plant. I tried to do a really small Scotch bonnet right in this area. We'll see if she lives. I may have transplanted it too early. And then here I have, gosh, I can't even think of the name. It is not dill. Oh, scallions. So I have scallions growing there.
Please forgive me, guys. This is not scallion. It is actually chives.
In this pile, just to be able to plant these few plants, and again, just 3 feet out. Those 2 small pots in the back, I just tried to do more green peanuts there, and I'm just looking to see if they catch. So I absolutely believe in speaking things into existence and being intentional with your actions. And with that said, I knew I wanted to get a nice harvest. And so as soon as I planted all of the seeds to my plants, I went and purchased my harvesting basket. This is my basket. It was exactly what I was looking for. I think it's the right size, especially for someone with a small space. There are the beans that I harvested earlier, and also the one collard leaf that was in the back that was of nice size. And you can tell just how we talked about the ones earlier. See, this one is larger than my hand, and this is exactly the same type. But look, compared to the ones, this one was actually transplanted a month and a half ago, and like I said, these have been here since the summer, so I know that those are as big as that's gonna get. I'm just only going to remove the bottom layers, and no, it's not going to give me a pot full of anything, but we also saute our greens. Sometimes I mix them with cabbage. You can add them to a salad. Sometimes I may dehydrate them, or I may even just wash them, freeze them, put them in a bag, and just add to them as I go. You'll notice as you get close to some of the leaves that there is this brown. This is cinnamon, like I mentioned in the in the first video. The cinnamon helps control some of the pests that come along and attack my collard. I'm not gonna take too much off because I do love looking at how full it is, so I still want it to be pretty, and I'll wait for more leaves in the middle that are coming, but we'll do just a few on the outside. So not much, but a few leaves in here. Again, I'll take it because it's more than what I ever had before, or if I had not sown any seeds at all.
So welcome back to the backyard again. These are the plants that I was hoping to be able to transplant at the end of the video that had outgrown the grow bag. So I'm just taking a second here. I'm looking at the Swiss chard before I pull it just to make sure that that's what I wanted to do. You have to commit to a decision, and I actually did decide to commit and pull it. The little strands that you see there are just more scallions and a mixture of some of the garlic that started, and I really do need to cut back some of the scallions, definitely. Yes, I garden in my jewelry, and I most certainly know that I should not. Since the time change, it has gotten dark at 5:30, and I'm really trying to get this video done. I just got home from work, and I haven't even changed out of my work clothes, but I really wanted to get this done before the sun set.
I know I should use gloves, but I like my hands in the soil. It is just something that is warm, and actually I'm going to break this one off because this leaf is dying, but the rest will look good. But as I was saying, it's just something that is relaxing and comforting to me about feeling the soil through my fingers. It actually might have been a carrot. Maybe not, though. I think it was a weed.
I like to go through and water everything in the evening after the sun goes down, so I'll make sure that All of these plants that I transplanted get a nice good water tonight along with the rest of them.
This is another one. It looks here, these are doing well, but these two leaves look a little sad. So we'll see how they do, and if I have to pull that one, I will. But this one is a multicolored that looks really good and really strong. So I'm excited about that. And I think I'm also going to pull off some more of these larger.
While transplanting my collards, I noticed that the sweet basil also needed to be harvested. A few of the leaves at the top were very overgrown, but they looked and smelled amazing. I'm excited to have them as a part of my harvest today.
So this is my final small harvest that I had today. Small but mighty. We're getting there. I'm thankful. All right, you guys. Well, again, don't forget to like and subscribe. There will be many videos to come. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining me. Sorry about the dog and his squeaky toy earlier, but it has been great. And we look forward to the next one. Bye.